My name is Adrienne Fast. I'm the Curator of Art and Visual Culture at the Reach Gallery Museum in Abbotsford, BC. In the summer of 2019, the Reach presented a solo exhibition by the Mexican-Canadian artist Carlos Colín. Titled Little Mexico, the exhibition was focused on the Seasonal Agricultural Worker Program, which brings thousands of temporary workers to Canada every year to work in the agricultural sector. Here in the Fraser Valley, hundreds of workers from Mexico are employed on farms and greenhouses for up to 8 months of the year. Although these workers are essential to the industry that most readily defines our region, the workers themselves are largely invisible within the broader community. So in putting together this exhibition with Carlos, our main concern was trying to render the lives of these migrant agricultural workers more visible, and to build greater appreciation for the contributions they make to our health, to our economy, and to our community. Many of the artworks themselves appear at first glance to be quite humble or prosaic, but each one has its own quite sophisticated rationale. For example, a long line of sun-bleached and sweat-stained baseball hats were tacked to the wall in a way that might suggest a cloakroom or a thrift store. Titled 12 Hours Per Day, this installation is a comment on the long, hot hours that workers spend in the fields. By relocating these humble caps from the agricultural field into the gallery space, the artist seeks to dignify these men and their labor. And in a way, the fact that these caps sort of stand in for the workers themselves in the exhibition also underscores their visible absence in the larger community. Another featured work was an installation of tissue paper flags that were strung together to create a colorful canopy that fluttered above visitors' heads. These are Papel Picado, a festive decoration that's common in Mexico, but Carlos designed this series of Papel Picado with laser-cut images of the most common fruits picked by farm workers in the Fraser Valley, and each inscribed with the Spanish words for justice, resistance, dignity, or land. The title of the installation, Festivities on Sunny Days, contrasts a sense of celebration that would be common beneath such decorations in Mexico with the long hours spent picking in fields and greenhouses during Canada's warmest months. At the far end of the Papel Picado canopy, visitors encounter a large-scale textile covered with dozens of footprints and handprints. This object was made on June 20th, 2010, when a group of Mexican farm workers gathered in Abbotsford to celebrate Father's Day, a holiday that always occurs in the summer when they're away from their families. The men imprinted their own handprints in brown paint, representing their work with and in the soil, and then used infant-sized footprint stamps in blue and pink to represent their male and female children that had been born in Mexico while they were away working in Canada. This textile was one of several objects and photographs from the Reach's own collections that were included as a complement to Carlos's work. In order to provide some additional historical context into how, for nearly 2 centuries, the Fraser Valley has been transformed by waves of immigration and settlement, most notably from Eastern Europe and South Asia. It's important to consider how Mexican agricultural labor today is treated differently than permanent agricultural settlers have been in the past. Many of the works in the exhibition present calls to action and opportunities for gestures of solidarity. For example, the text-based work Declaration reproduced word for word a petition that was submitted to the Mexican consulate in Vancouver demanding that they cease the practice of blacklisting workers who complained against unfair or dangerous working conditions. Visitors were invited to sign their names across the work, and it was heartening to see how the signatures grew and grew over the course of the exhibition. The exhibition concludes finally with a slideshow of photographs that depict the workers themselves. Although many of the other works in the exhibition make reference to the workers without physically representing them, it was important that there also be an opportunity for visitors to come face to face with the men themselves. The photos were selected by Carlos from the archives of Gabriela Rosas, taken during her work for the Dignidad Migrante Society, an advocacy group that works to improve the lives and working conditions for migrant workers in Canada. These are compelling and intimate portraits that underscore these people's human dignity and their strength. This video tour has only touched on a few of the works in the Little Mexico exhibition. If you're interested in learning more, you can contact the Reach to purchase an exhibition booklet published in both English and Spanish. And if you are interested in helping improve the lives and circumstances of migrant workers in Canada, please consider making a donation at www.dignidadmigrantesociety.org. Thank you for listening, and please look for future tours coming soon.